I've been asked about the expulsions overnight of various Labour Party politicians who've lost the whip, including Diane Abbott and my successor in my own constituency, Brian Leishman. I've also been asked about Jess Phillips. Now, you remember Jess Phillips, I mean, she was a fiery left-wing firebrand. She remonstrated with Tory MPs who sat back passively as Boris Johnson expelled Tory MPs and took the whip away from them, and she branded Tory MPs who sat back and who didn't defend their colleagues. She called them cowards. Well, she's on the TV this week supporting the Labour Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, for chucking out backbench Labour MPs who had the gall to defy him over disability cuts, and in the case of Diane Abbott, over comments that she made about racism. I have limited sympathy for my successor in Alloa and Grangemouth. He went round during the election campaign saying, vote for me, and if you vote for me as your Labour Party candidate, if I'm elected, I will have a seat at the heart of government. I will be able to phone Keir Starmer up and demand that he defends Grangemouth, and I promise I will defend Grangemouth. Well, first of all, that promise was broken immediately and Grangemouth was closed, so it was a false promise. And secondly, anybody who knows anything about politics knows that backbench, newly elected MPs can't phone up the Prime Minister. And I said to him at a hustings meeting, you'll be lucky to meet the Prime Minister. You'll certainly not have his mobile number. That's just nonsense. And of course, he's now complaining that he never got to speak to the Prime Minister nor the Scottish Labour Party leader, the latter for the last 6 months, and he's never had a single conversation ever, he says, with the Prime Minister. So my view is he was elected under false pretences, and if he was honourable, he should resign. But he's lost the whip now and he'll sit as an independent. He seems desperate to get the whip back. He's ruled out joining Jeremy Corbyn's party and ruled out joining the SNP. Obviously, Diane Abbott is a slightly different situation, because she has made the point that she feels that if you're black, you experience different forms of racism from Jewish people, from Irish people, or from Romani people. And she makes the obvious point that unless somebody is dressed in distinctive religious garb, you don't know if they're Jewish, you don't know if they're Romani, you don't know if they're Irish in the street. But somebody knows she's black instantly in the street because she's black. And so her life experiences are different. Keir Starmer says that's anti-Semitic. And he has expelled her from the Labour Party. He seems very keen to get her. He took the whip away from her before the last election, and she got it back just in time for the election. I suspect there's an old grudge at play there, but it's striking that she condemned anti-Semitism in a very clear and outspoken way, and makes the point that she's got a large Jewish community in her own constituency and has worked closely with them over many decades. So, will they get the whip back? Who knows? Keir Starmer says it's basically to discourage anybody else from rebelling over the next 4 years. I suspect it will be regarded as heavy-handed and disproportionate, and even those who keep the whip will not respect him for the way he's behaved. And let's see how that plays out over the next few weeks.